But first, there's something we got to talk about before we get into any coverage, and that is the coverage by Fox News of the Tea Parties, because this is something that gained a lot of attention in NBC and sort of the more left-leaning media. And I was frustrated by it because we know the origins of the Tea Parties. We've been involved in this sort of community action for a while now. People like Jessica down in Barrie have. There's a lot of folks who have, and that's the grassroots. Fox News is not grassroots. The Tea Parties sprang up from grassroots organizations. And Fox News came in and tried to hijack it as calling it their own. I appreciate the promotion, but I'm not letting them off the hook and just saying, oh, great, thanks, guys. Yeah, you're on our side, because there's no way I can forgive Fox News for the way they treated our Republican candidate during the primary. Do you have any comments about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, there's always been a tension in sort of the fiscal conservative movement between kind of people who are fiscal conservatives by opportunism and people who are fiscal conservatives in a very sort of hardcore way, right, in sunshine and in stormy weather. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting to watch how Fox News seems to really like to boost the opportunists, while at the same time when people kind of come up and stand firm on some of these issues, really it doesn't seem to do so quite as much.
Right. If you look at what's going on in communities all across the nation right now, it's not the neoconservative movement that has grassroots action. It's the liberty-minded, fiscally conservative, small government side of the, if you want to call it the right wing, that has community organization and a lot of motivated people that are very well intended and organized that are doing these sorts of things.
Which is not to say that there aren't some groups that definitely push in, and I think that
right,
that there are always going to be partisan power plays. Mm-hmm. And I know, for instance, in a lot of these things, there's definitely the Republican Party has tried to sort of muscle in and make it, fit their agenda, and in many places they've actually been turned down. I know the Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Steele was actually asked to speak at one of the Tea Parties and he asked to speak at it, and he was rejected because they wanted to see sort of a fresh effort.
Right.
So.
And then even here in our own Tea Party in Montpelier, the college Republicans asked to speak at the Tea Party here in Montpelier, and they were denied the opportunity to speak. It was structured to be nonpartisan, in no way having to do with the Grand Old Party organizing it at all. They did have a table there, and anyone who wanted to sign up, so it's open. People can advertise what they want, but they were not allowed to speak at the event. I want to show a clip from last year, one of the Republican debates. I forget which one this was. It may have been the South Carolina one. But this is a clip that was when they reran the debate, when it wasn't live, when they showed the rerun. This is the one clip that was cut out of the debate. And this is the reason why I continue to reject Fox News as a friend of our cause, because they do things like excluding this sort of material from their network. So we're going to go to this video.
Another question about electability. Do you have any, sir? There's always the question as to whether or not you are in fact viable. Your differences with the Republicans with the rest of the Republicans on this stage has raised questions about whether or not you can actually win the Republican nomination, sir.
Well, we've only had 2 little primaries so far, so it's pretty premature to decide which one is going to be the candidate. But, when you think about it, if you measured everything I've ever said, every vote I've ever taken against the Constitution, I'm a strict constitutionalist. Are you suggesting the Republicans should write me off because I'm a strict constitutionalist? I'm the most conservative member here. I have voted, against more spending and waste in government than anybody else. So you're suggesting that I'm not electable and the Republicans don't want me because I'm a strict fiscal conservative? Because I believe in civil liberties? Why should we not be defending civil liberties? And why should we not be talking about foreign policy that used to be the part of the Republican Party? Mr. Republican Robert Taft didn't even want us to be in NATO. And you're saying now that we have to continue to borrow money from China to finance this empire that we can't afford? Let me see if I get this right. We need to borrow $10 billion from China, and then we give it to Musharraf, who's a military dictator who overthrew an elected government, and then we go to war, we lose all these lives promoting democracy in Iraq. I mean, what's going on here? And you're saying that this isn't appealing to Republicans? Where did this come about? I think this is a Republican message. I defend the platform. It used to say we got rid of the Department of Education. It doesn't say that. Now, we as Republicans went and doubled the size of the Department of Education. So where have we gone? I think we've lost our way. And then the insinuation that I am less Republican because of that?
Congressman, thank you very much. We have to take one more break. We'll be right back with one of the most contentious issues of the day. Stay tuned.
So once again, that's the clip that was excluded from the rerun of the Fox debate, which is the reason why I don't believe that the neoconservative Fox News network is really a friend of the true effort behind the Tea Parties. That's the message that we want to get out there.